Hi Jerry, I'm Julie Fidel, the head of the international office at Epitech, and I'm very pleased to welcome you here. First questions, I want you to introduce yourself, what you've done at IBM, and why you are at Stevens, and what position you have in Stevens Institute of Technology.
Sure. Well, I'm a retired IBMer. I was at IBM for 4 years, actually 23 years. And at IBM, I was a Chief Information Officer, as well as helping them start their new services business, as well as owning lots of products that IBM has in the marketplace. So I had a varied experience of being a marketing person and a consulting person, and now I am an academic.
Can you tell me what's the importance of practical training and practice in IT?
We now know in research that Stevens and lots of organizations, both academic and business, have been doing, that around the world what companies are looking for are not just technical skills. In addition to the technical skills, they're also looking for an appropriate balance of management, business, industry, communication, interpersonal type of skills, both writing and presenting, and working in teams. So more and more universities are starting to recognize what the demand is for candidates and moving away from the pure technical skills and trying to add a good balance of the other business, management, industry, and interpersonal skills.
Okay. Can you tell me why you choose to work for and with Stevens University?
That's a very complex question. Let me see if I can answer it in the short period of time that you're looking for. When I was given the opportunity to retire from IBM, I was really doing a lot of thinking about what I'd like to do. And I had a PhD. I got my PhD while working at IBM, and I got my PhD at Stevens. And I was teaching as an adjunct at Stevens and Columbia University. And when I was given the opportunity to get early retirement from IBM, talking to Stevens, they were looking at starting a very new, innovative program. And in essence, Stevens has been around since 1870. It's a very, very strong technical school in the sciences, the maths, the engineering. And what they were starting up in the early 90s was technology management, the management of technology. And what they were asking me to do was to start the program in information management, the management of information technology. And in essence, we started the program in '92, and we've reached the point today where we are probably the largest graduate IS program in the world, with over 1,000 students in just our graduate programs alone. So very, very proud. Very exciting opportunity to start something new, and I'm very pleased to be part of the program at Stevens.
Okay, so what are your plans, Jerry, for regarding academic or achievement?
We're constantly being innovative in new programs. The thing that I pretty much forced at Stevens is in our faculty not just to have PhDs do our teaching, but have PhDs that also, like me, have a strong practical background as executives in an IT organization. So having that balance of real world and academic rigor is really fundamental. And the folks that we have teaching are very responsive to the very, very dynamic business environment and technical environment. So we have a set of 22 different concentrations or tracks within the IS arena, with about 11 or so that are technical and the remaining that are management oriented, that really fit the most important areas that are in demand today in the IS arena. So we're pretty excited by our ability to be responsive, and because we're so large, we can offer a large different choices for our students to concentrate on an area that they want to pursue in their career. That's the teaching perspective. From a research perspective, always busy doing something. My area that I focus on is alignment of IT and business, and how can information technology organizations and business organizations really work more effectively together to leverage the value and benefits that IT can provide, which is basically something that's been recognized as the #1 issue by business and IT executives for over 30 years.
Stevens has a good number of international agreements and agreements with Epitech in France. Epitech has been sending some students to Stevens, and in 2006, one of our students won the award for academic achievement, so we were really happy with this. We want to know what you think of our students.
The students that have been coming from Epitech have been really amongst our faculty, my faculty's favorite students. They're really very, very well prepared from a technical perspective, and very, very willing to work very hard in learning the business and management and the other skills that are necessary to succeed. So they really fare very, very well, especially given the fact that most of our students at Stevens, 80% of our 1,000 students, are working professionals. The average is about 10 years of work experience, and now the Epitech students are there with minimal experience, sitting next to somebody with a lot of experience, and they're always concerned, am I going to do as well as these experienced people? And they fare very well. They do very, very well, and more importantly, they get the opportunity to get to know those working people and build their network, so when it comes to pursuing a job or internship, they could leverage their relationship they have with their fellow students to help them. And as we've experienced, we were very happy also to award one of your alumni as the #1 student graduating from our program. You folks do very, very nicely.
Thank you. One last question.
The last one.
Can you compare the American and the French educational system in teaching IT?
I can elaborate because it's not even just the French system. I think it's international. And I kind of alluded to it earlier. I think most of the world still focuses too much on the technology. I don't mean that we shouldn't focus on technology, but just addressing the technology skills or technical skills of the student in today's market is not sufficient. In the old days, and I can speak about old days, the competition used to be the person sitting next to you, the person in the room with you. But today, the competition is international. You've got competition in China, India, South Africa, Latin America. And they're very, very good in their technical skills. However, their cost is much, much less than a Parisian or a New Yorker. And if I'm an executive making a business decision as to where I'm going to get my skills, the talent is equivalent, but the cost is much less in going offshore. Why would I go inshore? So we need to ensure that our students are prepared beyond just the technical skills to be able to compete and differentiate themselves from these other choices. Again, which gets us into the discussion of ensuring that we just don't teach the technical skills, but also teach the business, the management, the industry, and the interpersonal and teaming skills, which would really help differentiate our students from some of these other international students. And I think the program that we've been able to build together between Epitech and Stevens really does that, with the technical skills coming from Epitech and the technical management skills coming from Stevens. I mean, I say this all the time to students in Paris, students in the United States, my own children. And basically, you could be the best technical person in the world if you can't communicate effectively with your business partners, if you can't work effectively with your business partners. You can be the best technical person in the world, the best database person, the best programmer, best network person. It doesn't really matter. You really need to have those other skills to really move ahead in your career. And again, I think the program that we built together as a partnership over the last, I think it's been over 15 years now, has really been very effective in helping our students be very successful in their careers in information technology.
Thank you, Jerry.
My pleasure.